Good morning and welcome to your AI Future. I'm Marcus Reid, and today is Friday, April 3rd, 2026. It has been an absolutely wild week in the world of artificial intelligence.
It really has, Marcus. I'm Sarah Chen, and we are kicking off today with a lineup of stories that are going to affect businesses at every level, from the models you're building on, to the media you're watching, to the cars picking you up in Dubai.
Let's jump straight in. Our lead story. Google DeepMind launched Gemma 4 this week, and this one is a big deal for anyone building AI-powered applications. Gemma 4 is a new family of open-source models designed specifically to bring agentic AI to the edge, meaning your phone, your laptop, not just massive cloud data centers.
What makes this genuinely significant for business leaders is the combination of factors here. Gemma 4 ships under an Apache 2.0 open-source license, supports over 140 languages out of the gate, and Google specifically built it for multi-step planning and autonomous workflows running on-device. That is a privacy and latency story that enterprise buyers have been waiting for.
Google also released an agent skills gallery alongside it, essentially a marketplace of plug-and-play AI capabilities developers can snap together, and a new library called RTLM that delivers faster, more structured outputs. This is Google seeding an ecosystem at the edge, and they are doing it aggressively.
The competitive framing matters too. This is a direct shot at Chinese open-source models like Qwen and DeepSeek, which have been gaining ground globally. Google is saying, you don't need to go to a Chinese provider for capable open-weight models. That message is landing especially hard in regulated industries: banking, healthcare, government contracting.
Speaking of big moves, let's talk about OpenAI, because they have had an extraordinary week on multiple fronts. First, the funding round. OpenAI has closed a historic $122 billion funding round, led by Amazon, NVIDIA, SoftBank, and Microsoft. This puts their valuation at $852 billion.
Let that number sink in for a moment. $852 billion. That is approaching Apple territory. And notably, the stated focus of this capital is building toward what Sam Altman is calling a super app, an AI-native platform that could compete with everything from Google Search to Microsoft 365 to your bank's mobile app.
The other major OpenAI story is their acquisition of TBPN, the popular tech talk show and podcast network. The Guardian, Wired, and CNBC all covered this as a strategic media play. OpenAI is not just building models anymore. They are buying distribution and narrative control.
This is something every company eventually does when they get big enough and controversial enough. You start to own the media that covers you. The risk is obvious. TBPN's credibility comes from its perceived independence. The moment your audience realizes the entity funding the show is also the entity being discussed, that trust erodes. But OpenAI is clearly making a calculated bet that reach matters more than optics right now.
And then there's Sora. OpenAI pulled the plug on its Sora AI video generation platform this week. The official reason is compute shortages and strategic trade-offs, but the timing is notable given the pending $1 billion content partnership with Disney.
Disney is now, according to Deadline, in a holding pattern. Sam Altman has said they're still in talks to find a path forward, but Sora's shutdown is a real signal. Even the best-funded AI company in the world is making hard choices about where to concentrate compute resources. If you are a business that built workflows around Sora, this is a costly disruption.
It also illustrates something we have been saying for months. Supply reliability from even the biggest AI providers is not guaranteed. When you're in a billion-dollar deal and the product disappears, that changes the calculus on AI vendor concentration risk.
Now let's talk about a deal that could reshape how over 1 billion people interact with AI daily. Telegram has signed a $300 million agreement with Elon Musk's xAI to embed the Grok model directly into Telegram's platform. This is massive.
Telegram has over 1 billion users. Most of them are not in the United States. This deal essentially turns Telegram into an AI-native communication platform across markets, where it is the dominant messaging app: Russia, Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, the Middle East. And it brings Toncoin, Telegram's crypto token, along for the ride.
From a business strategy perspective, what's interesting is that this is xAI using distribution as a moat. Grok's benchmark performance may trail GPT-4 class models in some areas, but if it's the AI that a billion people interact with every single day through their preferred messaging app, that is an insurmountable usage advantage.
Pivoting to Microsoft. And this is a story that deserves more attention than it is getting. Microsoft this week launched 3 in-house AI models: MAI Transcribe 1, MAI Voice 1, and MAI IMA 2. These are purpose-built models for speech-to-text, voice synthesis, and image understanding.
The strategic story here is that Microsoft is explicitly reducing its dependence on OpenAI. These models were reportedly built by teams of fewer than 10 people, and they are matching or beating top-tier benchmarks across 25 languages. For enterprise customers running Microsoft 365 and Teams, this means faster, cheaper, and more private AI features, without routing your data through OpenAI's infrastructure.
That is a governance story as much as a performance story. A lot of regulated businesses have been reluctant to deploy Microsoft's AI features because of questions about where the inference actually happens. MAI changes that answer.
We should also flag a security story this week that has not gotten enough coverage in mainstream AI media. Anthropic experienced a significant security incident. Thousands of internal source code files related to their Claude Code Assistant and an unreleased model called Mythos were accidentally leaked externally.
Anthropic has not confirmed the full scope publicly, but multiple outlets, including the Distill Intelligence briefing, have reported on it. For any business currently evaluating Anthropic as a foundation model provider, or already using Claude for sensitive workloads, this is a moment to review your data handling agreements and understand your exposure.
And it's a reminder that even the most security-conscious AI labs are running extremely fast, and sometimes that means accidents happen. No AI provider should be treated as categorically immune from incidents like this.
Let's close on a story that feels like the future, arriving ahead of schedule. Dubai this week officially launched the region's first commercial, fully driverless taxi service. Baidu's Apollo Go technology, partnered with Dubai Taxi Company, started with 50 cars and is scaling to over 1,000. No steering wheels, no drivers, just the road and the AI.
And this is not a pilot. It is a live commercial service. Dubai has set a public target of 25% of all trips being fully autonomous by 2030. 4 years from now, 1 in 4 rides in one of the world's most visited cities could have no human driver. That is an infrastructure, insurance, liability, and workforce story all rolled into one.
The broader takeaway from this week: AI is not waiting for business to catch up. Google is pushing agentic AI to your device. OpenAI is buying media companies and raising funds at near Apple valuations. Microsoft is cutting out its biggest partner to own its own model stack. And a city in the Gulf is already running a fleet of autonomous taxis commercially.
The pace of change is accelerating, not plateauing. For business leaders, the question is no longer whether to engage with AI seriously. It's whether you're moving fast enough to stay relevant.
That's a wrap for today's AI Business Roundtable. I'm Marcus Reid.
I'm Sarah Chen. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning on your AI Future.